Well, it's good morning here from Radio FM 88 Australia, and the photo behind us is from Dunk Island in the Great Barrier Reef. Um, well, our guest today is actually in the United States, but he hasn't made the appearance, so we just thought we'd just carry on, and there might be a time when he just slips straight in. But without further ado, our co-host, of course, is Elisa, and she's based here in Cape Canaveral, Florida, and our time zones make it the way it's come together. So it's 9 o'clock in the morning here, and it's 7 o'clock summertime in Florida. So whilst Patrick, whether he comes or he doesn't come, we just thought we'd introduce ourselves to the fact that we're in different parts of the world, but at the same token, we're not alone. And most people who've endeavoured to walk a personal growth path feel at times that they have their dark night of the soul, and they realise that the friends and acquaintances they got don't understand them, and then all of a sudden they drift away, and then new people come in, and it's as a consequence, this particular radio show seems to have been able to be a linchpin for people to walk that bridge from one side to the other, realising there are other people around the world who have a similar interest. And so, without further ado, it's good morning, it's a good evening to you, Elise.
Good evening, Jeff. So I am ready to chat about whatever it is you want to chat. So let's do it.
Right. So the show Dreaming the New Dream came about some 7 or a bit years ago with a lady called Julia Choi, who approached me to see if we could do a radio show. And so she was born in Germany with a German mother and a Malaysian Chinese father. And she ended up spending time as a family in Shanghai and Singapore, Hong Kong, and then in London. She went to London University, got a degree there, worked in the international finance world, and then she jumped out of that and then got back into doing qigong and meditation and quantum healing and hypnosis. And so as a result, she said, "Can we do a show?" And it just felt really natural to be able to do something. So hence the reason we started the show, Dreaming the New Dream. It's all about the fact that we're getting out of the game of Monopoly. And after 18 months, Julie met a fella with star-spangled, what do they call it? Star-spangled banners. The sparkles came around anyway. So, yeah, and it was as a consequence, so I reached out and we've got a lady called Andrina Forrest from the UK. Lovely lady for 4.5 years, and we did so many segments with guests from Australia, New Zealand, and Cyprus, and the UK, and some parts of Europe. Lovely lady. She really brought a lot of great guests and a lot of humour, and she retired in November, and as a consequence, I did something like most people do these days and asked for your car parking angels, and I asked, is there anyone on this planet or this world who could fill in for what Andrina had done with myself in putting these shows together. And as a consequence, we got 3 ladies, one for Australia on a Monday night, and Zoe, and then she had a major court case, so she's pulled back, and hopefully she'll be getting back on board. She did mention August this year. So as a consequence, then along came Elise, and it was in North America. And of course, Elise is actually bilingual, so she speaks English and Spanish, and it was something completely different. And then lo and behold, all of this took place within 3 days. And the third day, this lady rings me up from the UK. It was 1 o'clock in the morning for her, and her name was Pauline. And she mentioned that she would like to come on board and help. And so hence the reason, that one door closes and 3 doors open, and we just jumped on board. And as a consequence, we're just trying to get out of the game of Monopoly and realizing that you don't have to get into this world of acquisitions. You all got gifts. It's just a matter of allowing those gifts to come to the surface, and you can touch all those people in any shape or form. Most people these days use Zoom if they don't actually physically meet someone. So Elise comes along, and it's bloody remarkable, isn't it? So, for a lady who's had a real intensive career in engineering who stepped out of it, and now it's where I step back out and say, at least bring us up to speed how you got into the engineering world and then you came into the personal growth world. It's an awesome story.
Well, had I was very good in math and science, so I loved math and science, and I was like, well, engineering is this is what we do. Engineering is about math and science, so very heavy in that. So I got into that. I knew I would be an engineer by the age of 13. I got out. Anyway, fast forward 25 years of corporate slavery. I started realizing that the fluorescent lighting was bothering me immensely. And so I kind of had started watching Dolores Cannon when I awakened. I started watching and reading Dolores Cannon's books. And that started my quest for knowledge about like past life regressions and these kind of things. And so I had tried to study for mediumship, but that did not work out. That's really hard if you're not born doing it already, where it's already developed. It takes a long time to develop it. So I decided to go, when I went to a quantum hypnosis session, a QHHT session, it was developed by Dolores Cannon. I realized that it was something I could do. So I went and got certified as a QHHT practitioner. And so I knew that I was not helping humanity as an engineer. Like, I'm just a project manager. I'm managing projects, and so I started doing hypnosis on the weekends to try to develop my abilities. And I really enjoyed doing it. I love talking to people and being a therapist, and then doing the hypnosis part and learning about people. And then I started concentrating on alien abductions because, as you know, I'm very galactic, and anything galactic is what interests me. So, because past lives were boring to me, the galactic stuff was more interesting. So I started doing, alien abduction. From alien abduction, I moved on to bringing people back to see themselves as ETs. And so very often I would have people that would, like, as soon as I would put them under, they'd be like, oh, I have blue skin. Oh my God, so they would freak out because I would have them see themselves like, well, what do you see? And so they would describe what they look like as aliens and what they were doing. Oh, my job is to, watch what's happening on Earth so I can forward that information on, or whatever their job was to do at the time. And so I really, really, really enjoyed doing that. And while I did that, I met someone who had some amazing abilities. And we started a show together, and then that show kind of fizzled out because she got very famous. So she kind of dropped me and left me, and so I moved on. And then that's when I started looking for people that do tarot cards. And one day I got a phone call from Marie, who is the friend that we both know. And I hear her shuffling cards in the background. And I'm like, are you shuffling cards? And she's like, yeah, tarot cards. And I'm like, you're a tarot reader? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm looking for someone to do a tarot show with, to figure out what's real and what's not. There's so much stories that are AI and so many stories that are not real or photoshopped, that we need something to tell us like, hey, this is real, this is happening, or no, this is not real, this is not happening. And so that's where I started the reality check tarot, meaning we're checking reality. We're using the cards to see if this is true or not, So that's how, because Marie had come to me for a hypnosis session. That's how I met Marie. And so, but during that session, she had not mentioned that hold on, Patrick just.
Carry on. Yeah.
Let me see.
That's what happens when you go live, folks. So it's all good. So Marie, by the way.
Oh, okay. So he still can't do it because, okay. So he's not coming. Okay. So, so then Marie and I have been doing our tarot show now for 3 years, almost 4. And so you knew Marie, and you guys had gone, so you knew Marie from being in Australia and however you guys met. And then when Andrina was leaving the show, you got a download to talk to Marie. And then Marie said, no, it's not me. It's Elisa that you want. And so that's how you and I met. And that's how I ended up here. But to go back to my story of how I ended up doing so I started doing the quantum hypnosis sessions. And so that's how I met Marie. And I think that's it. And that's how we ended up here. Yeah. So that's how it all came together.
So just to let people know, you're actually, oh, hang on a second. I need to go back. Sorry. I didn't set it up. I was just still waiting for Patrick. So it took us by surprise. Just hang on. There you go. Yeah, so for people who are just coming on board, so you're over here in Florida. And,
yep.
You're up there, Cape Canaveral, isn't it? What brought you into this part of the world? I mean, Orlando there is, most people know as for Disney World and so forth, and then Cape Canaveral.
So my parents moved to Orlando when I was 15. I lived in Puerto Rico, and my senior year in high school, my last year in high school, they decided to move to Orlando for my stepdad got a job there. So we moved, and when I got the message to sell my home in Orlando, I was having a lot of blockages in trying to find a place to move. And at that point, I was already awakened. I already knew that I flow like the water. And when you hit a roadblock, you just go around it. And so if in life you're running into constant roadblocks going away, you got to let it go. You got to release. And so that's what I did. I closed my laptop. I was so frustrated. And I said, universe, I have to be out of here in 2 weeks. I don't know where I'm going. This way is not working. So you figure it out. And so about 2 days later, I had let it go. I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. But I had given up and I had trusted. And my stepdad calls me and he's like, hey, did you know my best friend has condos at the beach? Are you willing to move over there? And I said, of course. And because it's 45 minutes away from Orlando. And my kids are grown, but they're in Orlando. I don't want to be too far away from them. And so it happened that the condo was literally right next to the beach place the park that I used to come twice a week, every week to that beach. And it was right next to it. And I already had told the universe, because that's what I teach people. I teach people how to manifest their lives, how to manifest whatever they want. And so I wrote down, okay, this new place, it needs to have this. It needs to have windows. It needs to be brand new. I want everything brand new. I want it to be as much as I paid for my house and all of this. And so that's what happened. The condo, it was a 40-year-old condo, but my dad's best friend, his name was Alex, he gutted the apartment. Everything was brand new, even the walls. Right. So I knew this was my apartment. I walked into it and it was still, walls missing or whatever. And I'm like, I don't care. This is it. This is the one. So I was lucky enough to have a friend who said, well, come live with me for a month or whatever, however long. And then once it's ready, you move there. So that's how I ended up here. It is a magical place. There's peacocks walking all over the place. There's the launches. I just walk out my door and I see the launches. I see the sunrise every morning. I walk to the beach. I see the sunrise. I walk the beach. I ground. I sun gaze. It is an absolutely beautiful beach. Turtles come and nest here for 6 months out of the year. So I get to see this beautiful, beautiful, gigantic turtles that come in to nest, and their babies going into the water, and being in the Turtle Preservation Society. So I love it here. And I was sent here by my higher self / universe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that you said galactic relationships and connections and stuff seems quite poignant to be placed on a planet called Earth, and you're right there where
Space Force. Space Force is here. Actually, it's 20 minutes from my house is the United States Space Force.
Isn't it amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
So you started off doing hypnosis, yeah?
Yep. Yep.
Where did you learn when you're working with people that impacted on you personally? Did you see an aspect of when you're working on someone that you could see the mirror reflection in yourself?
Well, when you're doing the hypnosis, it's more, they come with you with certain questions that they want to ask or know about what happened in their lives. And so there were many messages that were for me, actually. And quite often messages would come for me in the sessions that I was like, whoa, like they were directly for me. And I never asked about myself or anything like that. But sometimes there would be messages that would come from me. Did I see a mirror for myself? No. But I think at the time I didn't have awareness that much about that. So it wasn't like I was looking for it or recognizing it.
And what would be the biggest, or have you had many epiphanies yourself?
Epiphanies?
Yeah. Something that's just jumped right out and you think, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I had 2 sessions of people that don't know each other. And at the end of the session, I would always say, thank you for the beings that came through to help us with this information. And the first time, the person said, they said, it was a pleasure talking to you, Commander. And I was like, what? And I was like, okay, I must not have heard that right. So I ignored it. So the second time, I said, okay, thank you. You know, this is a completely different person that doesn't know the first person. And the ETs we were talking to said, it was a pleasure speaking with you again, Commander. And I was like, oh shit, really? You know, so that was, I think, really big for me, because it kind of helped me understand that things I wasn't believing that were coming my way. And I'm like, come on, no way, me, you know, like the low self-worth girl, you know, how can that be me? No way, you know. So that was huge for me. That was huge for me. Yeah. Let's see what else. To me, it was mind-blowing that every time I would connect them to their ET self, like I was able to ask about, like, well, how do you guys go to the bathroom, or how do you know, so I was able to get a little bit of information of how they live, where they live. If they have physical bodies, I was able to ask questions like, well, what does the house look like? And do you eat food? And blah, blah, blah. So all that stuff was really super interesting.
Right. And then because of the space aspects of it, I mean, did you actually go deeper and find out what constellations they came from, or um, what would you call it? The stellar worlds, solar systems. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
quite a perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, and to be honest, it's bigger than that, Jeff. I had a couple of people that were creators of other worlds. So it's bigger than that. It's bigger than just ETs. If you start going up in the scales of light beings, I had someone that was a red blood cell. I had somebody who was, um, you know, uh, I've had people that were trees, that were rocks, people that were, um, I had this lady, oh my God, she was an angel, okay, on earth. And one of her other selves was a reptilian commander killing people. It's like, so what you find out when you do this hypnosis is that, and you read Dolores Cannon's books, is that we're here for an experience. We literally are up there in pure joy and happiness and peace. And we go like, well, I'm bored. What is it like to be a rock? And you go and be a rock. What is it like to be a red blood cell? Boom, you go in and you're a red blood cell. So this is what you learn through time, is that you're just here for an experience. And you have some contracts that you write down before you come, and you say, okay, well, I want to learn this, I want to learn what it's like to this, I want to learn what it's like to this, to do that. What does that feel like? What emotions I want to feel? What tribulations I want to go through? And at the end of the day, it's all about experiencing that which you chose to experience.
Hey, I had David Pace on from St. Louis last week, and I mentioned to him this holographic event here in Brisbane about going into the pyramids, and you have the big headset that goes over and covers your eyes, and so now you got this perception of this visual as well as the audio.
VR. We call it VR, virtual reality. The VR,
well,
the VR goggles.
Yeah, and to go through that hole and walk the whole scene and go into the pyramids. And I was explaining to him, and I said, when we came out of that and I got tapped on the shoulder, I sort of stepped back and thinking, oh my God. And then I realized when I was walking down the street afterwards, I thought, oh my God, are we in a virtual reality here?
We are.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio with Inception, had the spinning top to find out which reality you're in.
So it's a mix between the Matrix and the Truman Show. So this is what I've come to. My theory is that we are a mix of the Matrix and the Truman Show, and so and the Truman Show is very deep, very, very deep, and it's exactly what's happening to us here. And it even goes to the point where this huge spotlight falls in front of him, and the spotlight says Sirius, like the planet, the constellation. And what does that tell you? That Sirius was just a light. It was not an actual planet. So very, very deep things that happen in the Truman Show that are copying really what our reality is, which is really a video game created for us, for our soul growth, really.
So if we go to the next step, how many times have you been thinking something and it comes up on your social media sites or platforms, or particularly on Facebook? You all of a sudden you've been thinking about it. You haven't verbalized it, but what you've been thinking comes up and flashes up and say, you're looking for a cleaner, or you're looking for a Healy device, but you haven't verbalized it to anybody, but it just seems to be operating on a on your thought wave patterns now. Have you come across
Well,
that?
so yeah, it's happened to me. And so remember that our reality is going to give us a feedback loop of what we believe. So I'll give you an example. I came from another past life where I was really overweight, so food was bad. Okay, in my eyes, since I was little, I was like, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. My mom's like, you're not fat. What are you like? So from another life, I already came with subconscious beliefs that food is not good for you. So what I have created in my feed is like, oh my God, don't avocado oil. They found, avocado oil, 100% of avocado oil tested has bad shit in it. And now coconut oil is bad. And now this is bad and that's bad. And all of a sudden my feed is showing my beliefs because this video game is created to reinforce what you believe.
All right.
So the fastest, easiest way to know what you believe is look at your feed. That's how you know. Like, oh, okay. So what I noticed with that is I need to work on being okay with eating anything. It doesn't matter. It's okay because of my feed on Instagram with all that stuff. It was like, oh, don't eat this, don't eat that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh crap, I believe that. That's my belief causing that. So I think it's partly your belief system as well as the fact that they're listening to you on the phone. They know what you're looking at. For example, Facebook, you're giving Facebook the ability to look at what you see. Like it can open other apps that you have and it can look and see what your history is, where you're doing, what you're saying, your texts. Who knows, your pictures, because in Facebook, you're posting pictures. It has access to all your pictures. So it can know that you went on a cruise, or you went on this, you went on that. So then they put a cruise, ad. Like they have so many ways to figure out what you're doing.
Yeah, data mining, they call it, don't they?
Yeah.
Because I've been working with Mr. Elon Musk's AI Grok, and I found that when I was doing a couple of projects there, so if I spent the day working with it and then I come back the next day, it had Alzheimer's, dementia, like, what's going on here? So when I asked Grok, he says, it's a new project. We don't store that knowledge unless you want to go to another AI program, which is creating this memory of what you've been doing, which can be sold to a third party. So I was thinking, oh, okay, so I'm working with Grok on the basis that what I'm doing for that project, that's the end of it. So now I've learned at the end of a project with Grok, I say, can you give me a summary so I can copy and paste? So when I come back in the next session, I just paste it so you know where we're at and we resume our project. So that's what I've learned with Mr. Grok. But for the other ones, it's all about creating a whole big database, an archive of who you are and what you're thinking so that they can sell it to a third party. Yeah.
Yep. But I think it's deeper than that. I think it's for them, for the government to know what you're doing.
Yeah. Can I ask, did you get caught up in the TV series Game of Thrones? Did you ever get to watch that?
Yeah, because I had read the books, which were way better than the series. The series got, at the end, HBO took over the writing and they were horrific. But the beginning was right with the book. So yes, it was very good.
I mean, the last season was this hocus pocus BS, wasn't it? It just didn't. It didn't have the same energy and connection that the other ones had done, and it was really a play on society over eons of centuries of time, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's pretty profound. It was really putting in your face what's been going on. Anyway, so moving on, where do you feel now that you know what you know? Well, that's a good question. Knowing what you know now, what do you want to do when you grow up?
Well, my goal is to be a philanthropist for humanity and to be able to, I've been told many times I'm the bridge for people to go from 3D to 5D. So I'm hoping to still, continue to be the example of somebody who is free from the matrix, free from slavery, and showing people that a happy, joyful life, peaceful life is real and true, and it can be achieved by everybody. But they got to let go of the forbidden fruit, right? Of the phone, right? There's a reason why the Apple logo is the forbidden fruit. So instead of doom scrolling, you should be spending your time dreaming, right? We have that on our title. Dreaming the new dream. Dreaming, what is it that you want to see in your life? If you want peace in the world, you have to be peaceful yourself, to you in your life. Do you want people to be kind? You got to be kind to yourself. Sure. You have to exemplify what it is that you want to see outside of you. So I've been told to share my story, share my life every day. That's why I created the TikTok account that I have, is to share my story, share my life, so that I can be an example for others. And that, and that's just my plan, is to start, I help humanity now, but I'm hoping that I will be able to help humanity even more, as I try to get to manifest that ultimate financial, unlimited financial freedom, as I call it, so I can, help others even more than I do now.
There's a series of books that came out from America, came from San Francisco, Dolores Divines or something like that, and it's called Masters of the Far East. And we had 11 Americans went over to Tibet and India and Nepal and into China, and they spent many years there. And it's one of those. They'd gone over there on the third occasion, and they met one of the masters, and they had 3 years meeting all the different ascended masters who can actually, manifest in this reality, but also can raise their vibration and move out into other realms where you can't see them, but they can see you. But they have this innate ability to actually manifest whatever they require. So whether it's a new set of clothing, or they can speak the language of the people, but they can manifest food. Or if they would take in these Americans to a cafe, they put their hand in the pocket and just pulled out the appropriate currency. Even though that you didn't hear the coins, they just had this ability to blend in and do things. But so it was a really great sense of inspiration to realize that if you can accomplish what those people have done, I mean, you wouldn't have to be playing the game of Monopoly and be tied to a debt slavery of working for the man, and tied to a monetary system. Actually, there's a great movie called Time. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, Time. Yeah, it's really a great window to life, where you're working jobs for just over broke, and if you didn't get the income, you couldn't meet your debt. So you ended up you had this little bracelet there, and if you didn't meet the actual time quota, then you'd passed away. So the whole story of the game is that they actually broke into the vault and they stole the unlimited time, and then they took that bracelet and gave everybody the unlimited time. So changed the whole dynamics, and people jumped out of the sequence of being in a debt slavery system. But so I think there's a way forward. We just need to be more aware that we've just got to jump out of what's going on around us, which is holding us back into the paradigm of what do they call it? It's like the Caesar who took over and created 6 months of Olympic Games and all that stuff, and gave it to the locals. Says, gave them entertainment. So it's the same scenario. Entertainment's provided in our current society, where you just turn on the TV, or you got it on AirPods, or wherever you go, you're getting entertained, as opposed to, and it's all external rather than in the internal journey. Man, know thyself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Um, you know, I think, to be honest, the journey has been so hard, but so beautiful. Because at the end of the day, the journey has been all about loving myself unconditionally and knowing that I'm worthy, because I am God in a human body. So is everybody else. And so once you start understanding that you have the power to create just like God does, that's when everything changes. That's really when everything changes. And for me, that started when I was studying the law of attraction, and nothing would happen. Nothing would happen. I'm like, I'm going to put this law of attraction thing to the test. I'm going to see if this is like real or is it bullshit. So I had a boss, a manager that didn't like me, and that was the first time ever that had happened to me. And she was just really mean to me. And so one day I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to test this law of attraction. So I closed my eyes and I imagined her being nice to me and we're hugging each other and just really close. And the next time I saw her, she was so nice to me. And I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, this is real. This is real. So I started manipulating weather. And we are on our way to this. I'm from Panama. I was born in Panama. And so I was visiting with my brothers, and there's the 400 Pearl Islands off of the coast of Panama. And that belonged to a tribe called the Kuna. And so the Gunayala is where they own the Pearl Islands. And so we hired this boat to take us to this island, and the skies were black. I mean, like it's gonna pour. And I'm just like, nope. So it was 1 hour from the time I said to myself, it will be clear when we get to the island that we're gonna get to. And Jeff, I am not kidding you. I am not making this up. You can ask everybody who was with us in that trip. A hole had opened up in the sky where the black clouds were over the island we were in, and the sun was shining through the whole time. It was like we all got burnt because we thought, we didn't need, because it was so dark, we didn't need lotion. There was literally a perfect circle, almost. It was more like not a circle, but more like a X-shaped type thing. But anyway, oval. No clouds and full sun right on top of us. And it was just incredible. It was just incredible. So another time, my brother, we were on our way to one of the volcanoes in Panama, and it's 7 hours from the city. And my brother's like, you're going to have to do some of your magic so that we can get there, with that. Because he said there's cops like every 5 miles or some crazy thing. And I was like, don't worry about it. You're going to see. And that's exactly what happened. I put the intention that we were going to go through without any issues with the cops, and still speeding because we like to drive fast. So, it was funny. As you would pass some of the cops, they were either like, you would see their motorcycles, but they weren't there. Or you would see them with already a client. So they already had pulled someone over. It was just like, so yeah, you have full control of what happens in your simulation. I mean, I could talk to you about all the things that I've manifested. This last trip to Chicago was crazy. Everything was a manifestation there. Because the higher vibration you are, the faster you manifest. And so the less dense the body is with trauma, emotional trauma that's stuck in there, the more you release and heal that, the faster you're going to manifest, because your vibration is so much higher. So yeah, it's a magical world. It's just that people don't see it, and that my hope is that I can show them that it is magical.
I'm hearing you loud and clear. That's a great story about the weather. I know a lot of people in Australia, particularly in the southeast Queensland, have done that, where they've broken the cloud, if that's what you want to call it, break up the cloud or the rain clouds to bring in the night sky for telescope viewing, or even for drumming circles.
Yep.
Right. So, how many members of your family sort of share the same gifts? Do they?
I'm going to say my half brother is somewhat awake in Panama. My youngest half brother is the only one that I really can talk about this. My son, my oldest son who lives with me, he understands it, but kind of doesn't understand it fully, so he can't really work with it very much. But yeah, no, it's mom, right? So if mom says this, whatever mom says, it's invalid. It's there. I'm not interested, right? So yeah.
Okay, right, yeah. And so coming back, okay, so game plan now, as you're growing up, is now into become philanthropy and to show people that if you can do it, so can anybody else. That really seems to be the goal now, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the goal. The goal is to heal, to then manifest what you want.
True. So, I mean, most of the teachers who have come on this world have always been examples, but someone comes along and then changes into prostrating themselves to the idol rather than the ideal. Does that make sense?
To the what?
The ideal. So the ideal is, you can walk in my footsteps. If I can do it, so can you. But then it gets morphed into a way. No one can do what Elise does. So you prostrate yourself on the ground and you bow and all that stuff and say pay homage to Elise, when it's not really what you came here to teach. You came here to lead by example, and so if you can do it, so can anybody else. That seems to be, you need to get in there and somehow get that promotion or that publicity out there before someone else comes and transcribes it and takes it into another direction. I think
I'm okay with that, because even Dr. Joe Dispenza, who got sued by a woman who it was his teacher, because almost a lot of the stuff he's put out is from someone else. At the end of the day, if it wasn't for Joe Dispenza, thousands of people wouldn't be healed. Thousands of people wouldn't be where they're at. So I have no problem with people stealing my stuff. I don't care. That's the idea. As many people as I can get to steal my stuff, the better. Because why? Because that's what we want. We want a better world. And if really that's what we want, then that doesn't really matter,
Got it.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about that. And something that came to mind too, that you said, what's next for me too, is I want to learn to do telekinesis and levitation, because I feel that if I can learn to do that, and there's many others that do it, this is not just Elisa doing it, there's many people that do it, I can give validity to my words. People will listen if they see I can, push things with my hands or turn off, lights or whatever, right? So that's also something else that I want to work on, is telekinesis and not telepathy. What did I say? Telekinesis and
telekinesis.
When you float.
Levitate.
Levitation. Thank you. Yeah.
Fair play. If you can do that, you've raised your vibration of your molecules. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
had a dream of people levitating and telling me, like, come here, like, come to us. So I just have a feeling that that's something that might be in my future. I don't know. But um, just playing, having fun. Like, when you're playing with with not power, with energy, when you play with energy, you it might be hard at first, but I feel like after I get it down, it might be fun. So I don't know.
this gentleman just put it up here. I think we might just explain to this gentleman or individual. We originally had Patrick Leddy, the healer's healer, to come on, and you've got a message to say he won't be on. So we decided that we'd change today's. Well, for us, it's in the morning. So for you guys, in the evening in North America. So we thought we'd just change it up and explain how after 7 and a bit years, the show evolved as part of the Dream in the New Dream, where people are not alone. You might be anywhere part of this world, and you feel like there's no one else that you can reach out to who understands you. But this particular show, Dream in the New Dream, is about showing, no, you're not alone. The world's one big classroom. There you go. And Elisa's been sharing her journey from coming out of Panama, Puerto Rico, and then coming into Orlando, and then arriving at Cape Canaveral, and had a big career and been an engineer, and then stepped back from that and pursued a personal growth of development. And it's been an eye-opener. It's been fantastic. So if you only just come on board, I'd recommend that you go back to the very beginning, and it'll bring you up to speed. Thank you very much for the question. And I see Peter, who's coming on next week, mentioned his thanks. So there's something there that's gravitated towards Pete to make that comment. So Pete's coming on next week. He's a naturopath here in Southeast Queensland, the Sunshine Coast. He's also an astrologist. So he's going to be speaking about the astrological charts of Australia and astrological charts of the United States. And of course, you just had your 250th year birthday of the settlement, if you want to call it as such. You had previous inhabitants on this country, on this continent. But yeah, so the current status of the United States, 250 years on the 4th of July. So he's going to have the charts for that. And he's also going to do the charts for the UK, for our UK listeners.
Excellent. I can't wait.
Yeah, good on you. Thank you very much. Yeah, so that's Pete. So we've had him on our Thursday night show. Very affable. That's the best. He's just so approachable. Yeah, that's what you find when we have these guests. They're so open, aren't they? They're so transparent. They're so. I was going to say Yogi Bear and Boo Boo, like Yellowstone National Park. They just, there's a bit of what's the word? They're really cuddly. Yeah, it's really nice, and that's what's really with these particular guests that come on for the last 7 and a bit years. Anyway, moving on. Right, so it's only your stepbrother in Panama who has a similar outlet to you. You got a son it's mum. It's okay. There you go. I have to say that I'm the only one in our family who shares this awareness to seek out, and as Star Trek would say, to boldly go where no one's gone before, and do the inner journey and find out where it goes and how it develops. So, so there you go. Anything else you want to say, Liz? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I agree, Kathy. I told Jeffrey that. I told him I wanted to interview him, but he keeps not wanting me to. Blows me off.
No. Just I don't know if the world's ready for it. But anyway. I've had those experiences.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah. Well, I
I've
know you've had some amazing experiences for sure. But what I would like to say
gone.
to people that the world, don't be a realist. The world may seem like it's going crazy, but 95% of what you see is not real. There might not be a war in Iran or Iraq. There might not be people killed. There might not be an earthquake. There might be an earthquake. There might not, like these days it's really hard to see what's happening outside of you. So, you know what? Look within. Stop looking outside. If you want your outside to change, go within and change the inside, and then the outside will match what you want to see. So again, I'll say, if you want to be peaceful, you have to have peace within yourself. You have to, you want a peaceful world. As we each start going within and healing and being peaceful within, the world will change. So you have to concentrate. Remember, attention, wherever your energy goes, that's what grows. So whatever you're feeding that's outside of you is growing, because we're feeding it. That's the matrix. So do you want to be the last player in the matrix who's still tied to that fake news, fake illusion that's not even real? Or do you want to go within and start really creating that dream, that beautiful life that you want? So that's what I would say, is just work on not scrolling so much and work on using that time to create the life that you want. The way I got here to where I am now is by being thankful. I have tons of journals full of thankfulness. Like every day I would do 10 minutes morning, 10 minutes at night. So it's all about, where are you spending your time? Where is your attention going? That's really, at the end of the day,
Yep, got it.
that's how you change your life.
You want to leave it there, or you want to? Shall I bring up about the fact that North America, Canada, and Mexico and America have been descended upon by people from all around the world to watch a certain game of football called soccer, and how they've all been getting on social media and saying, this America is just fantastic. What a lovely place it is. Contrary to all the media, this is, the people are hospitable, they're joyous, they're open arms. It's just unbelievable. It's been a phenomenal change in perception. It's been fantastic. It's the same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Once you get
absolutely.
and the make believe by mainstream media to come into the actual world itself and see what's going on. It's been phenomenal what the World Cup's done for North America. It's awesome. Yeah, okay. Nothing really to say. You really said it all there, Elise.
It's what I've learned. It's been my journey. It's been it's been what is it? It's not a dark night of the soul, is a dark decade of the soul. But at the end of the day, that decade was worth my healing and my loving myself unconditionally and knowing that I'm worthy now, and it feels good to feel worthy. It feels good to know that, I'm not going to choose the cheaper option. I'm going to choose the option that I want, whether it's the most expensive or not. It's whatever I feel I deserve, and I deserve nothing but the best. And it's going from not being worthy to knowing your worth. And it's been a beautiful journey. And again, it's all about the experience. Read Dolores Cannon's books, everybody. Seriously, it tells you everything you need to know. They are incredible.
Okay. Well, Kathy, we'll do a show with myself. So
Good.
yeah, it might take 6 hours, but anyway, we might have to sort of give you the abridged version, shortcut version. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah, without further ado, it's been awesome, and thank you. And our apologies for those people who thought we'd have Patrick Leddy, and we might sort up another time for him to come through. But
Yep.
okay, love you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.